What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. It is the #1 place to learn about disability inclusion. My name is TinaB and I'm a Disability Inclusion Educator. On this channel, you'll learn all about how you can be more inclusive to people with disabilities and special needs. So I did a 5-part series teaching all about disability inclusion. And I did it over on my Instagram, which if you'd like to follow that, there's a link in the comments. But it was such great content that I wanted to go ahead and give it to you guys. So I will be doing this 5-part series. Also, if you'd be willing and you like this content, if you would subscribe to let YouTube know that this kind of content is important and it's meaningful, I'd sure appreciate that. So stay tuned for the video all about me teaching about my 5 tips for disability inclusion.
Hey guys, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving and are getting back to Monday. I know it was hard for us this morning, getting the kids out the door and getting back to regular life. I'm TinaB. I'm your Disability Inclusion Educator. And I just wanted to take a week, take 5 days to teach you guys about disability inclusion. I think it's super important that we have this conversation and that I keep teaching and teaching. And if you ever have any questions about anything I'm talking about, or if you ever have like situations that have happened to you and you want to ask me questions about it, please feel free to. I would absolutely love to answer any of your questions. So today I'm going to start with day number 1. What you guys are going to learn in this live is going to be about front loading. Front loading is very, very, very important. If we don't front load with our kids and talk to them first beforehand, we're really going to run into problems. I know this firsthand, even though I have Noelle, even though she's in a wheelchair and she's got lots of stuff going on, I still have 4 other kids who do not have anything, they don't have disabilities, they don't have special needs. So I run into this struggle as a parent very often. And because I'm teaching you guys, I then have to teach my kids. One day we were at Walmart and we walked out and there was a group of, special needs adults. And literally I was like loading my groceries in and I look and all 4 of my kids are just like open mouth staring at them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, hey guys, do you want to ask them their names? Do you have some questions? So it's like, I totally understand what it's like to be that parent. And that's why I want to teach you guys so that you guys can know what to do in those situations. So I think the top mistakes that we make as parents is in those situations, we tell our kids just shh, don't stare, don't look at them, you're being rude, and stop it, basically. And basically what that teaches your child is, I'm curious about this person, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. I'm not allowed to look at them, and I can't ask any questions. And the thing of it is that doesn't help them learn anything. It just helps them think like, oh, okay, they're different, and I'm not allowed to know why, and I'm not allowed to talk to them. Now, I know that you're a well-meaning parent by trying to say, shh, don't stare, or, leave them alone, don't look at them. But really, like I said, your child is left with all these questions and no answers. And so they're basically left coming up with their own thoughts and their own reasoning. I've shared this story before, but in Noelle's elementary school, one day, one of the little kindergartners told Noelle's nurse, we think she's a zombie. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so sad that these kids, they think Noelle's a zombie and they're not allowed to ask questions and nobody's told them any different. And so when kids are left to their own thoughts, they're going to come up with something. And it's usually probably going to be scary. Those people are bad. I need to stay away from them. And when we say those things to them, the don't stare and all that, it kind of reiterates that. And really, the thing is that you never stop asking questions. Even as adults, we don't stop asking questions. We just stop asking them out loud. We just think them in our head, and we're probably thinking the same questions our kid is. And that's probably part of the reason that we're feeling bad that our kid is voicing it out loud, because we're thinking it in our head, like what is going on with that person or what's wrong with them or whatever. And so really, the questions are always there. It's just how are we going to deal with them? And then when we don't ever allow our kids to ask questions, what happens is when we do want our kiddos to talk to somebody who has disabilities or is different or has special needs, they're not going to. They've been taught, don't look, don't stare, don't talk to them. So then you're going to get in a situation where, maybe it's a close family friend, or it's a grandma or a grandpa or something who maybe has something medically going on or something physically going on, and your kid is not going to talk to them. They're not going to be polite, and they're not going to engage, because unfortunately, that's what they've been taught to do. So my 3 solutions for that, for front loading, are: number 1, you need to read books with your kids. Read books about people who are different and have different abilities and different special needs. So that way your kid is already experiencing this before they're ever in contact in real life with somebody who is different. I'm going to tag, I have an inclusion gift guide at the bottom that has a lot of different book options that you can go, check out. Maybe you can get them for Christmas or something. But definitely number 1 is you have to read age-appropriate books with your kiddo so that they can start to understand that people are different and different is okay. My second thing is that you can use real life experiences. If you see somebody maybe in a wheelchair and you didn't actually interact with them, you can still use that experience to talk to your kid about, oh, did you see that person? They had a wheelchair. Did you see that person using a cane? Oh, I think it's because they can't see. They might be blind. So use real life experiences to talk to your kid about people who are different, even maybe before they acknowledge it. Maybe you're the one who acknowledges it first, in a setting where you can have these conversations with them. And then the third thing would be watch videos of people who are different. YouTube is a great place to learn and see people who are different. We have a video about a day in the life of with Noelle, and you can kind of look at that. But there's also lots of other people who are living their life out loud and living with a disability and living this different lifestyle that will help your kids see, oh, they may be in a wheelchair, but they can still do all these things, or they might not be able to read like me or to see like me, but they can still do amazing things. Another example I just thought of is there is a kicker who played at a school in California, and he was blind, or he wasn't the kicker, sorry, he was the punt guy, or the snapper, the long snapper. So he was a long snapper and he was blind, and he actually got playing time. So a story like that would be amazing to show your kids, and then talk to them about the fact that some people are different and they can still do amazing things, and they can still overcome, just like each one of us is different. Each one of us has to overcome certain things in our life. So, so just to wrap it up, this was, just day 1, and it's all about front loading. So front load with your kiddo. Talk to them before the situation happens, so that way you're already kind of on the offense. You're already prepared for it. You know what you're going to do. So stay tuned for the rest of the tips this week, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.